Hey everybody, it's me, Normal Corey, here in Seattle, Washington. Out here outside with my beloved MPC Live 2. And I've been making videos every single day with my MPC Live 2, talking about my favorite plugins, talking about the reasons why I love it so much, and just making beats outside, which is what I do every day. And if you like seeing me make beats outside every day, like and subscribe, check out the channel, you know? But one thing that I've learned is, there's a lot that I have left to learn, and there's a lot of things that I already know. And in making videos every day about the things that I love with the MPC Live 2, I've realized I really like the MPC Mother Ducker plugin. Now, the Mother Ducker is a sidechain compression. So I thought in this video I would go over the Mother Ducker sidechain compression. Now, before we go over the exact plugin itself, I think it makes sense to talk a little bit about music theory. Now, I'm not the biggest music theorist, but if you're someone who's starting out making beats and you're listening to your music and then you hear something on the radio, or you have a friend who makes electronic music and their music is pumping and their music is just banging, and you're wondering, why does it's the same exact elements in my beats, but mine sound so stale and flat and theirs sound so big and fat? And I would say probably the biggest reason why is compression. Now, compression is something that can make modern music sound very loud. So if we think about sound waves, think about it like a mountain. And if you think about a mountaintop and you got the snow cap, all that sound waves in the snow cap, it's actually inaudible to our ears and just kind of sounds bad. So what the compressor does is that it removes that, and it makes everything below actually sounds louder. It brings up that volume. Now, a limiter is an extreme version of a compressor, and that means that none of your sound is gonna peak. But we'll get into limiters later. But yeah, so a compressor basically takes out all those noises that are too loud and inaudible for the ears and just sound bad, and it makes everything below sound louder. Now, the downside of that is that when you're doing something like that, you can take out the dynamics of your mix. So when you're using a compressor, you need to be very mindful and always be thoughtful of what you're doing. Now, generally we want to use compressors because we want things to sound louder. But I would say don't use a compressor just because. You might be at the beginning, you might be experimenting, but just try to think, what exactly am I doing with this compressor? So now, this brings us to sidechain compression, which the Mother Ducker is a sidechain compressor. And it's also that the Ducky in the MPC Live plugin is a great way to explain what a sidechain compressor is. So what a sidechain compressor does is it takes the signal of one noise, and whenever the signal from that one noise comes in, it's gonna put the compressor on another noise. So what you can do with that is you can have two noises that sound really loud. Now, in electronic dance music, that is most often the kick and the bass. So let's go over that. Let me show you. So right here, I have a techno kick. So let's go in here and let's record that kick, 4 on the floor. Okay, that sounds good to me. Let's just go add a snare just for the effect. Okay, so now I've created just a really basic, really quickly, a 4 on the floor beat. So this is perfect because the very cool thing about the MPC Live 2 is that you kind of have channels within channels. So in here I have all of these different tracks. Right here I have my bass track, which is coming up next. But if you look at my techno kit, if we click here, now this has all of our different tracks, the actual individual tracks. But if I go down here, this red one, this is actually the noises within my drum kit. So I have a channel mixer on my drum kit. So this would have a relevancy in coding, but I don't know exactly what it would be called, but it's within this is kind of a world that lives within a world. This is a little module, and within this module, we're able to put effects on each of the pads of the individual sounds. Because I don't want the input of the sidechain compressor to be all of the drums, because if I were to do that, that would kind of smash the bass. But what we do is we go right here, this is the kick, we go to effects, and when we go into the effects, I already have a mother ducker loaded in on it. But if you look, let's delete it so I can show you how to add it. So let's go to Dynamics, and let's click on the Akai Professional, and let's do Mother Ducker Input. And you look below is the Mother Ducker. So we click Mother Ducker Input. So now, the kick is the input of the Mother Ducker effect. Next, we go to our bass. Oh, undo the multi-record here. Let's go to our bass, and let's click Overdub, and let's extend it to 4 bars to make it sound a little cooler. But let's press record. Up. See, we're doing this live, so we're gonna go in here, we're gonna press erase, do it, and I need to go down some octaves. Now it's gonna be in, by default, it's gonna be C major. Let's do pentatonic minor. This sounds kind of freaky to me. Okay, that sounds good to me. So let's go in here. All right, so that already sounds pretty fun and dancey to me. But what we're gonna go do now is we're gonna click on, this is the plugin. If we see the channel mixer, this is the plugin. We can click effects here too. There's no plugin on the drum mix because it's in that individual kick, not on the whole thing. But if we go here, we could either do it this way or we could go here on the effects, press the plus. It's the same thing in both of these places, but let's press the plus and let's do the actual Mother Ducker. So we select the Mother Ducker and let's go in here, and you see we have all of our different controls in here. But before we do any of that, let's just play it and let's see if this is working. Okay. So we see we have our little ducky with the MPC hat, and he's grooving a little bit. And what that means is that this effect is actually working. So let's go in here and let's talk about all the different effects. So the ratio, that's basically the amount of compression. The attack is the amount of time it takes in order for it to work. The release is the amount of time the compression goes away. The threshold is at what noise the compressor will take effect. The gain is, right now it's on auto, but the gain can make you get the volume go way, way louder. The volume can go up and down, but we'll keep that on auto for now. And the knee is kind of like a look ahead. It allows the compressor to guess what's happening first. Don't completely hold me to that. I'm gonna check that before I post this video. But okay, so let's go in here and let's mess with the threshold. Now the great thing, these Q links automatically work with this whenever we're on page mode. So let's go in and we're gonna play around with the threshold. See right here, the ducky is looking really low, and that's because it's working at a very low. So generally whenever I'm using this effect, I want the ducky to be not being too extreme, but I want him to be bouncing, because that's just what you want to look like in the club, and that's what you want everybody in the club looking like. You want them to look like the ducky, just not going too crazy, but just get a little groove. Let's mess with that threshold. Yeah, so that's gonna make your kick sound a lot better. So yeah, I'm not gonna mess too much with the attack, release, the ratio, or the knee, or the gain. I'm just gonna mess with that threshold right now. This is a pretty basic overview of the Mother Ducker plugin. But let's go ahead and what would be another sound that would sound good with this effect? So another thing that I would like to use is a piano. So let's add a new track. Let's do a plugin. Let's go in here to hype, and let's go click on the piano sounds. We're gonna click on a piano, Let's click on a house piano. This is a very house sounding song. We're gonna change the note, we're gonna change it to a chord. So let's go in here to the chord and let's press the multi-record, go back. All these are undone. So now, let's go in and okay, that sounds pretty good to me. Okay, so that sounds good, but I think you can have more space if we go in here and we go to the mother ducker, and it already has the input of the kick. So let's go into the effect, see how it sounds, and let's just listen. So that's too much. Let's go to our threshold. Okay, so I think as far as the mother ducker, we're at a pretty good point. I've explained what's going on with it. But let's just go ahead and let's add a lead, because I'm having fun, and right now we're just making music. So let's add a new track. Let's go to plug in. Right now, the Mini D is an analog emulator. That sounds pretty good to me, but let's try a different one. Let's do leads. Let's try shimmer. That sounds pretty good to me. Let's just turn the level down a little bit. One thing whenever I'm doing sound design, I want to hear everything. Music is always in relation to everything else. So you might be like, oh, that's a cool sound, but you always want to play it with your other pieces of your palette. It's all here. So I think that's a pretty good way to make music. So one thing we can do as far as composing songs, go in here, and if we press the time control, do it to 1 bar. Now, you hear that compressor coming in whenever the kick comes in. All right, so that's a pretty fun way to make music, and I think that's a pretty good overview of the sidechain compressor. Now, the sidechain compressor is something that I use every single day. It's a concept that if it's confusing, feel free to comment below if you have any questions. The sidechain compressor was very confusing to me for a while, and I also just didn't understand why I would do it. But what I would say, I did know that my beats didn't sound as large, as full, as richer as other musicians that I heard, and I always wondered why. And if you're wondering why, it is the sidechain compressor. I can assure you right now it's the sidechain compressor. So if you like what I'm doing out here, if you took any value from it, please like and subscribe. I'm gonna try to keep making these videos every single day. Truth is, I make beats outside every single day. It's something I do all the time. So if you have any questions, just feel free to ask me, and I'm just gonna keep doing this every day. So check me out more.